You probably look around, man. It's like, hey, you know, they did this, they did that. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was like, they put up a parking lot, It's empty right now. I'll tell you. It's not gonna be empty long. We got a Seacoast school over there. Got a cool bank over there, another bank over there. Plenty of banks to do some investment, huh? We got Bank of America, we got Navy Federal Credit Union, we got a BBVA, and we got Wells Fargo, SunTrust, all right here in the middle of all this land of opportunity, man. Now check this out. And say going to a special school, smart kids, right? Everybody wants to talk to the smart kids, So it's like, you got a Jesus Christ penny store right here, man. All closed down. It's like, Jesus Christ, That woman gave every penny she had, So we got a penny store. It's all closed down because they spent all their pennies. So you got to make something out of that, right? So you come over here, you got a Tip Top chicken and shrimp store, You got Tip Top chicken and shrimp. So you got chickens and you got shrimps, man. Don't be a shrimp. Think big, dream bigger, Don't have a shrimp dream. Have a big dream, Don't be a Kentucky Fried Chicken, okay? So here you go. You go to church, you go to school, right? You come out and you go, man, the kid go to school, does real good, man. It's like, look what I did. The parents go, oh, let's go over here, celebrate. You go over here, man, and you get something to eat, right? So they go to Tip Top restaurant over here, because they get a Tip Top education, man. Top-notch stuff, man. And then some of the other kids, in the neighborhood, they go down there and it's like, man, I swear those people, the smart kids, kind of hang out, So they go down there and get something to eat, and they're like, man, it's pretty cool. And maybe some of their families, they don't sit at the dinner table and eat dinner together, They don't know how to do that kind of stuff, But they see these good families in there, and they're like, man, they're sitting down there talking, being nice, having a nice meal together. And man, I wish I could do something like that, man. And they go, whoa, there's a furniture store next door. It's gonna be opening up. Man, maybe they'll get a nice dining room table there that you can sit down and eat family dinner together, And they got, man, maybe that couch, and the salespeople, they don't always know how to sell stuff, So you got to tell them how to sell it. Sometimes you go, you get a nice dining table, You sit down, you eat like a family. It says, look at this couch, man. You don't want to mess up this couch, so that's probably why you should get a dining room set, You and a family, you just sit down at the table, turn the TV off, have dinner together, and then you go back to watch TV, And I say, man, that's a pretty cool idea. And you go, well, they got this school over here, man. While you're hanging out, you might not be going to school with these people, But they go over here and they hang out and they eat, You could talk to them. And then, over here next to the furniture store, you open up like a little game zone, They go in there and they play like little board games and stuff, But here's the cool part, I've been talking about Adventures of America, And this is the adventure part, man, The adults and the educators and the governors and the government, all those people, they get together and they do all this cool stuff, And they make all this stuff. And, but we need leaders, leaders for the future. So you say, hey, how do we get kids to be leaders again? I don't know, man. I mean, we take so much stuff from them and just hand them these electronics, and we don't tell them anything wise anymore. So he's like, oh, man, I don't know what we're going to do. He says, well, we could start over here in this little place in this town, Seacoast education, like the U.S. Space Navy and stuff, man, like Space Force stuff, man. And you go over here and they kind of eat dinner and stuff, maybe lunch, and they'll go next door, in the Army Navy store. It's outdoors, And it's like, you ever seen that movie? You got the club, it's outdoors, And you see it. Oh man, Night at the Roxbury? Yeah, that was the craziest stuff in the past. So we got like an Army Navy store over here, right? And like, man, I didn't know that. He said, yeah, man, I'm trying to teach people how to be families again. So you go in there, you get some nice dining room table, a nice couch, and maybe you can go over to the rooms to go. They got the expensive stuff there, but maybe the other families, they can't afford the big expensive stuff. So the expensive, rich kids, with good education, they go and hang out at the restaurants so they can kind of share ideas, And then, the regular families go next door to the affordable store and they're like, hey, man, got something for you right here, special. And then you go, oh, man, and you see one of those really special kids, you're like, hey, I know your family, man. Hey, I just got this table donated, so we're gonna mark it down like a cheap price, just this once time for you, and make them feel special, And then I go, man, they hang out next door, man. We got this little kid game zone, you can go across town, man, to the laser tag and a skate rink and stuff, but over here they got brain games, man. But those smart kids, they're not so stuck up, man. They got like little cool brain games, and what they do is they make these little adventures for the kids, and the kids make adventures together, and they go like on little adventures through the town and stuff, and it's designed by kids, and they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then maybe, you get some of those kids, with some volunteers from the high school, and the high school come over, and they do stuff, and that's like, separation of church and state, without separating the church and state. So you got like regular kids doing stuff like churches, because it's not about the building, and then you got, regular other people, and then you got the food, and that's how you eat education and training, man. And you go, man, are you kidding me? We got the mall here, man, so we go, the parking lot's kind of empty right now, and I'm looking and I see a J.C. Penney, I'm like, well, if I could give somebody a penny for their thoughts, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, please, educate nationally, It's new education, and if you can't speak properly, you say use. It's new education, use, pay attention, okay? So you take out this J.C. Penney here, and you make it like a department store, And instead of getting all ritzy and crazy, on one side you put like clothing, like, you usually do, right? But they made the makeup and perfumes. I couldn't even go through a J.C. Penney, man. I'm like, I ain't talking bad about J.C. Penney. J.C. Penney is fine with me, but I went through one, and they had the makeup and perfume. The whole center of the store is nothing but makeup and perfume. It was like the Taj Mahal of Babylon, man. I couldn't even walk through it. I couldn't breathe. And they're like, man, we're trying to tell them we're starting to wear masks because we can't even make it through there. You see the comedian on TV. It's like, I can't make it through this section. I can't breathe, Well, the same thing, So maybe you cut back on some of that stuff. There's plenty of stores, man. You say, hey, take out what you need. Take out this brand and this brand and this brand, There's plenty to go around. Don't put it all in one store till there's nothing left. I mean, J.C. Penney, man, was supposed to be like, hey, here's a penny for your thoughts. Here's some of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And over here, we put a little bit of this. And here's some tools and maybe some toys, And toys they're learning tools, Tools to teach your kids, Not all just about fun, but education should be fun. Not all fun and no education. It's supposed to make education fun. So, there's your J.C. Penney. There's a penny, because Cool Joe, man, if you turn it around, you say, hey, on the flip side, we'll flip the penny over and say, Cool Joe, did you ever meet Jesus Christ? I says, man, I don't know, but I talk to him all the time. You just got to look up and talk to God. Look, there's some more quiet, the aliens, See those jets up there, man? You can't see them? Here, let's zoom in. Those jets? I can't even see if I was in point. It's so quiet. There we go. See? They're so quiet. That's what I mean, man. We got all the technology. My dad used to say that growing up all the time because he's in the military. Nuclear missile tech, deal with all that high-tech stuff, And he's like, man, he used to say it all the time when I was growing up before they picked me up for Department of Homeland Security. They said, man, we have the technology, but I'm surrounded by morons. And I said, Dad, how could you say something like that? He goes, no, it's true. Morons, man. It's not an insult. It's just a fact. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, morons. They're like, I need more stuff on me. Remember they had Mr. T with the American team, man. A-team. He had all these chains, man. It's like, all these chains. It's like the devil chains, man. It's like, you need a necklace, you put one on. Maybe one or two or three, but that's it. Mr. T is like, I pity the fool, man. I pity the fool. Because he's saying, he got so many chains on, man. You don't need to go to the gym and work out. No, man. He got so many chains on. Every time he stand up, it's like lifting weights, He's like, whoa. And he's like, man. And everybody ashamed of their black heritage, man. Didn't you listen to Danny Glover? He said, I'm proud of my black heritage, man. I'll go postal anytime somebody need me to. Because you see Mr. T, he's like, man, you're enslaved by yourselves, not by other people. What are you enslaved by? He goes, well, look at Mr. T. He's so worried about the gold, he forgot about the gold in his heart and the gold in his mind, man. He says, come on, we're doing squats. You go to the gym, you do squats. You're like, 1, I got so much gold chains on I could barely stand up. You know, he's like, don't be greedy. You know, the land of opportunity, man. You gotta have ideas, man. Look, you see, I like helicopters. Every time I say something great, God's like, here, let me send you another helicopter. I love it, man. You see it? I love helicopters, man. Hey, we got new helicopters, man. We're gonna be building too. I'll tell you about that later. But yo, Jesus Christ, you know, one who gave the least, you know, gave the most. I mean, they even took the J.C. penny off the sign, man. They didn't have enough pennies to put the sign up there. Somebody probably took the pennies off the wall, man, and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a little things out of it, man." You know, I mean, get imaginative, use some creativity. For Christ's sake.